Welcome to another Teacher's Corner, this time coming at you from the Tribble Test Server on Drzana Station. We're going to delve into the brand new ReEngineering system. So, ReEngineering was just introduced and is currently being tested on Tribble, so keep in mind that this information is subject to change and will be updated if it does change. So first you can find ReEngineering, or what is ReEngineering? Let's start with that. Hey, Kirby! Okay, so ReEngineering is the ability to change the modifiers. I'm going to pull these up. To change the modifiers. Things like accuracy damage, accuracy crit D, crit H, those things can be changed or re-rolled. You'll understand what I mean by that in a bit. So, of course, I have a few weapons here that I've set aside. So damage times 2 pen, damage crit H pen, damage times 3, another damage times 3, crit D, crit H pen. So you can see I've set aside quite a few things and change those. Okay, and you'll see what I'm going to do with it all. It'll come into focus later, and I've set aside some Mark 14s. Okay, so that is what ReEngineering is. It allows you to change or modify or re-roll the modifiers on a weapon. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, first, to find ReEngineering, you can do it one of two ways. You can right click your weapon and click on ReEngineer item, or you can click on upgrade and you can move this window, and you'll see upgrade now has a second tab that says ReEngineer. So I'm going to click on that. Now, in order to re-engineer an item, let's say I want to re-engineer this item. In order to re-engineer an item, you need to have two things. You need to have dilithium, and you need to have what's called salvage. Now, salvage, it's interesting. You get salvage by recycling items. Now, I have some extra things here, okay, that I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. And so the important thing to know, or actually it is important to understand. So let's say I want to re-engineer this item. Now you notice things like snare, thrust, over, pen, those things cannot be re-rolled. You're stuck with them. So if you get an item that has a modifier like that, like thrust here, I do not want thrust on my item, period. So you can go ahead and get rid of that item. Now you can do that, you can get one of two things from it. You can either get EC from it, but if you have enough EC, like, see, this tune has 143 million. I think that's enough for now. So if you think you have enough EC, you can go ahead and right click this item and click on salvage item. This is new. You will not see this on holodeck yet, but this is coming with ReEngineering. Now when you salvage item, and this is going to come up very quickly over here above my chat window. When you salvage item, you're going to get, do you really want to salvage this item? Yes, I do. Now this was a Mark II, so it gave me only 50 salvage. Not a lot, but, you know, given that I don't want to put any resources into it, and, you know, it has something that I'm never going to use, Not bad. Now let's say you decided that you need some items. You put in one thing, one, excuse me, you put in one upgrade into it, and it's important to note that this is a very rare Mark 7. It didn't change rarity, so you're going to get rid of it. Now, if you do that, salvage item, a Mark 7 very rare gives you 153 salvage. Again, not bad. We'll go into how much it costs to roll an item. Now, it is important to note that the rarity of an item greatly increases the amount of salvage you get. As an example, so we got 153 salvage for a very rare Mark 7. So I've got a snare here, for a epic Mark 7, I get 611. So see, a big increase. And just another example. So this is a Mark 14, and I want to be clear, the only reason I took these up was because I'm on Tribble. Okay. And I salvage an ultra rare Mark 14, and I get 1,456. I salvage an epic Mark 14, and I get 2,911. So as you can see, big differences having to do with rarity. Okay. Now, I do want to point out, and I'll give some examples here. Okay, so I kept this at Mark 2. So you see here, I can only do with Mark 2 with a pen mod here, I can only unlock these two. So let's say I want to keep that. I'm trying for a damage 3. Okay. So I upgrade said weapon, and I'm upgrading, and again I'm using a Tribble upgrade. Don't worry about it. Okay. So I get, and I'm going to go ahead and play it out. So, come on, flip to epic. Now, a normal upgrade would have expired by now. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and get that all the way up to 14. Okay. So I've gotten this up to epic. And you'll see why that matters in a bit. Okay. So where I only had 3 modifiers showing before, now I have all 5. I cannot roll pen. But these two I like. I want to keep these two. So I'm just not going to unlock it. Now, notice, and Oreo wants you to know that somebody's coming up my ramp. Notice I get a dilithium cost of 500, sorry, and a salvage cost of 350. That's for one. Okay? For one modifier. Now if I put a second modifier, say I want to change that one, now my dilithium cost is 900. 900 for 2. So that means that second modifier only cost me an extra 400 dilithium. Okay, so a little bit less. Okay, my salvage cost went up by another 350. So the salvage cost does not change, only the dilithium. Now if I were to add a third modifier, now it went up by another 300. So the dilithium cost per modifier reduces by 100 every time. Okay, so I only want to run these two, and I'd like to get damage and then double damage here, just for the heck of it. So I roll. Oh, I got damage. Now I can stop rolling this one. I can stop rolling that anytime I want. And I can only roll, I can roll that one. And I can roll, oh, I got crit D and damage. I can roll, oh, crit D times 2. And I can keep rolling as much as I want. Act dam. And it'll let me roll as much as I want until I stop it. I'm going to go ahead and stop because why waste my thing? But so this will give me what's considered to be a very good weapon, okay, on the market right now. I can't get a damage times 2. Okay, so this gives me what's considered to be a very good weapon on the market now. I might go crit D damage. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go for crit D damage. There we go. Now I want to sub that, so there we go. Now I have an extremely good weapon. Okay. Now I can lock or unlock as many as I want, and I can roll as many times as I want. Now, as I said, the more that you modify, the more that you modify, or the more, okay, the more abilities you modify, the less the cost per modifier. So the first one's 500, the next one's an additional 400, the third one's an additional 300, the fourth one is an additional 200, and if I were to able to do a fifth modifier on here, that would be an additional 100 for a total of 1500 to roll all 5 mods. The salvage cost, of course, would be an extra 350, so 1750 for all 5 mods. Okay. Now let's say I wanted this to be all crit D, so I wanted that. And random. Oh, there's my crit D. And see, I can lock them down as I see fit. And notice it's not taking very many rolls to actually get what I want. Okay, I take that back. I've never seen it take more than 9 rolls to actually get what I want. So overall, not a bad system. I'm actually liking it quite. Oy, come on. No, not crit H. The good thing is, as long as I have dilithium and salvage, I can keep rolling. And you can choose, of course, whatever modifiers you wish as your goal. There we go. that one was one of the longer ones, but you can choose whichever you wish as one of your goals. And so I decided, just for example, that I wanted this. Now, of course, you can choose, that's a pen. You can do, so here we go, we got a damage times 3. You can do, of course, you can do one-offs, you can do whichever you wish. Now, as I said, it is important to note things like pen, thrust, snare, etc. are not going to change. They're locked in. So choose carefully what it is you wish to re-roll and make sure you have in mind what your goal is. The other important thing to notice when trying to get salvage is that reputation equipment will not give you salvage. So I personally recommend, when you play STFs and other things and you get loot, that loot will give you salvage. So there you go. This is a beginning look, or an initial look, at the ReEngineering system. Remember, you can hear the discussion of Teacher's Corner live every Saturday night on the Pilot Review Show. I hope to see you there.